Welcome back to my movie countdown. This is my top 5 worst movies from 2010. And once again, this is biased, my opinions, and if they differ from yours, you know, everyone to their own. You know, my opinion might differ, but don't hold that against me. Okay, don't sue me for this one, but my fifth worst was Avatar. Because while it is genuinely stunning to look at, I don't find the story to be anything special. And I believe it to just be really an overhyped piece of crap, really. Um, it's just basically, the same old. I mean, you've seen the story 1,000 times. Pocahontas dances with wolves, all that stuff, just with overgrown Smurf dogs. So that's my pick for number 5. It's Avatar. I know many people consider this a 2009 movie, but I consider it 2010 because that's the year I watched it. Okay, number 4, and we are choosing Shrek 4. I watched this one, the first 3D movie I saw this year, and while it was better than Shrek 3, it was nothing special. The funniest bits were the kid that goes, "Do the roar! I love you, Daddy!" That was the funniest bit. That had us laughing for hours after. But it's not that great. It's not as good as Shrek or Shrek 2. And, it's just typical. Personally, I am glad that this was the last one. And I'm not making plans to go see the Puss in Boots movie because don't think that one will be any good either. I'm sorry. So the fourth worst movie of 2010, Shrek 4. At the number 3 spot, we have Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Now, this wasn't a bad movie from a general action perspective. The problem I have with it is that it carries the name The Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. It is a video game movie which has barely anything to do with the video game. There isn't an hourglass. The prince has a name. The princess isn't called Farah. The vizier's got a name, and the vizier's actually related to the prince. The prince isn't an only child. I mean, they need to. I know they needed to update this to make it more modern, but the game only came out in 2003, I think. There was no sand creatures. There was no, the love interest wasn't tough. She could stand her ground, but that's about it. And I didn't like the movie from that point. I think they should have put sand creatures into it, included more from the game, even if that would have been a bad idea from the storytelling standpoint. So number third worst movie is Prince Persia. Number 2 is Eclipse, and do I really need to explain myself for this one? It's Twilight. It's shit. It's badly written, badly acted. It's Twilight. Those aren't vampires, those aren't werewolves. That's an overgrown forest fairy and an overgrown wolf running around fighting over a girl who can't act and who can't really choose between the fairy and the wolf. You know? Twilight's one of the worst things to come out of cinema since, I'd rather watch Ed Wood. I'd rather watch an Ed Wood movie. I'd rather watch the Garbage Pail Kids movie. I'd rather watch the 1999 Godzilla movie. I'd rather watch grass grow. I'd rather watch paint dry. It's one of the worst films. It's one of the worst series. It's terrible. It's Twilight. It's awful. It's Twilight. That's all you need to know. That's all I need to say. The worst movie of 2010 is The Last Airbender. I would. I started watching this movie and I couldn't even get to the end. It bored me. It was made no sense. I didn't like the movie, and neither did a lot of people apparently. It got really bad reviews, and for all the right reasons. I mean, the effects are pretty good, but apart from that, story-wise, acting-wise, it's all bad. And it has one of the worst lines ever uttered in the history of cinema, being, I always knew you would be a bender. Or I always knew you were a bender. And in England, that just makes us laugh. I mean, Americans probably don't even know what the word bender means, but, you know, it's that guy from Futurama. It's the robot from Futurama, but this movie was terrible. I will never watch it all the way through, and I never hope to have to repeat myself in watching it. Worst movie of 2010, The Last Airbender.